Hey, what's going on, guys? It's No Shoes, and welcome back to another K-Rino Tuesday. Today, we're going to be reacting to Three Gods. This is featuring Minister Robert Muhammad. I believe that's what Min would be the abbreviation for, but let me know if I'm wrong. And this was suggested by Yu-Gi-Oh! Holic, so thank you, Yu-Gi-Oh! Holic, for the suggestion. Keep coming in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. But without any further ado, let's see what Kay got to say. Let's see what Minister Robert Muhammad got to say. And let's see what Three Gods is all about. Let's get it.
Polytheism, the worship of many gods. Monotheism, the worship of only one. The title of this composition is called Three Gods.
Okay. I have to say, I don't think I've ever gotten such a literal intro to a track, especially the line, the title of this composition is Three Gods. I don't think I've ever heard a single artist name the track in that way. Cool way to do it. And we'll see what this is about, because we got three gods, which could be polytheism, or is this like a trinity situation where it's like all one god but different pieces of him? Let's see.
Three gods. Yeah. I know three gods and none of the same. Three things that can all fall up under the name. Some worship meaning idols, others thunder and rain. Of the three gods I'll speak on, which one do you claim? Listen, polytheism is your enemy. Each god is an entity that prevents people from elevating mentally. And I ain't talking about the Trinity. The three gods entered me sinfully, manifesting death when it's sent. Money's the first god I'll speak.
Interesting. Okay, so he already addressed it. It's not the Trinity. And it sounds like these three gods he's about to discuss, I'm going to give it a guess right here. Money, women, and drugs are going to be my guesses for that. I believe we heard a sneak peek of that first one. I think it's money. We'll find out soon. But nice delivery, kind of bare bones feel to the mix, definitely coming from those tragic mixes that we've gotten on the most recent projects he's put out. But his voice is clear, is coming through, background vocal. I think, you could add a little reverb or something to it, make it just a little bit sweeter, but it's doing its thing. And the beat's nice, nothing too crazy going on, but it's got a nice mixture of instruments and sounds. Let's see where it'll take us.
Which one do you claim? Listen, polytheism is your enemy. Each god is an entity that prevents people from elevating mentally. And I ain't talking about the Trinity. The three gods entered me sinfully, manifesting death when it's sent. Money's the first god I'll speak on. Some think that it's wealth. We even place more value on money than life itself. Some might even take a life just to get it in hand. Money's replaceable, but no one can recycle a man. The accumulation of paper.
That's facts, man. Everything's replaceable. It is hard, though, with how expensive it can be to live out here. Sometimes it feels like money is life, because how you gonna live without it? What you gonna do, eat out the dumpster? Live in a sleeping bag on the side of the road? That ain't any good neither.
In life itself, some might even take a life just to get it in hand. Money's replaceable, but no one can recycle a man. The accumulation of paper leads to hatred and greed. If moral seeds ain't planted in hearts, other entities breed like materialism. Those that feel like clothes in a car make a person. Take that away, it might expose who you are. It's the motivation of war making calamities.
That is facts. There's some people out here who got nothing beyond their money. And that's where it really becomes an issue, when the money is the only thing you care about. Obviously, to realistically live, at least without being like a monk on a mountain who farms for their food, you need money. But there's a balance there.
Those that feel like clothes in a car make a person. Take that away, it might expose who you are. It's the motivation of war making calamities start. Ramifications of its misuse tears families apart. Can it buy you love and happiness? That's just a facade. Those things only come from building a connection with God. True indeed, the love of money is the root of all evil. It makes a man prostitute women and sell dope to his people. Not a quest to gain new revenue.
That's great. Love it. Using that common phrase being money is the root of all evil. Bring that into the track, adding a little complexity there, and also kind of signals your brain like, ooh, we've heard that before. That's something we can relate to. Great delivery. Kind of slow so far. Not that that's a bad thing. Just he's definitely given us some nice space between these bars, which K doesn't always do.
Money is the root of all evil. It makes a man prostitute women and sell dope to his people. Now the quest to gain new revenue is inevitable. It makes us fall for every single trick the devil will pull. I know three gods and none of the same. Three things that can all fall up under the name. Some worship men and idols, others thunder and rain. Of the three gods I'll speak on, which one do you claim? Listen, polytheism is your enemy. Each god is an entity that prevents people from elevating mentally. And I ain't talking about the Trinity. The three gods entered me sinfully, manifesting death when it's century. Drugs are the second god I'll speak on.
Okay, interesting. And K does an interesting things with his tracks where not necessarily the intro, but what would kind of seem like a pre-verse section between the intro and the actual start of the verse where he started talking about money has now almost become the hook or some type of like repetitious break section where he comes back, gives us, the same stanzas, and then transitions to what's the next god he's talking about. It works well. I haven't seen too many artists do that. And especially in a case like this where there's very little repetition within that section, it definitely feels kind of funny as like a hook, but it works. Let's see what the next god is.
Polytheism is your enemy. Each god is an entity that prevents people from elevating mentally. And I ain't talking about the Trinity. The three gods entered me sinfully, manifesting death when it's century. Drugs are the second god I'll speak on, which one do you use? It's a multitude in the world now, so many to choose. You got people on speedboats, some agree that they need coke. Some worshiping marijuana, baptized in the weed smoke. You can get you a upper or...
Okay, yep, drugs. 2 for 2. I cheated a little bit on money, but we 2 for 2 still. And as they say, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But let's bring it back just a little bit. He's starting to list off different substances. I myself always have to be like, come on now, stop giving the stoners a hard time, man. Honestly, we are not the problem. And if you don't know that, you ain't looking in the right places. There are people who have problems, and weed is one of them, though.
On speedboats, some agree that they need coke. Some worshiping marijuana, baptized in the weed smoke. You can get you a upper or score you a downer. And nowadays, more people getting high from over the counter. If dope ain't a god,
oh man, from upper to downer, then rhyming that with over the counter. That works really well. That's nice. And that's one of the scariest things is opioids, the epidemic around that, and the fact that most people get into it from over the counter drugs, and then maybe they'll get into street stuff from there, or maybe they just figure out how to keep that prescription open. Who knows?
Nowadays, more people getting high from over the counter. If dope ain't a god, prove it. We'll discover who's right. It's everywhere. Plus, it calls you in the middle of the night. And in the dope Bible, in the 3rd chapter, the book of cocaine explains he who hit it once shall have no strength to refrain and shall remain chasing the high, whether sunny or rain. And still much just making sure that the habits maintain. Seeking 3 rocks instead of trying to...
Interesting. I like that. Talking about as if it's like a drug Bible, the book of cocaine, and how let's see, bring it back just a little bit here. He's basically found a more interesting way to describe that you can get addicted off the first lick there, or the first sniff, however you're consuming it.
And shall remain chasing the high, whether sunny or rain. And still much just making sure that the habits maintain. Seeking 3 rocks instead of trying to detox. You gotta beat blocks, trying to get $10 for a pair of stolen Reeboks. Praying to the drug guard from 7 to 7.
Detox and then making it to Reeboks. That's a great way to twist that scheme. They're almost perfect rhymes, and I guess technically they are, but in my mind, at least, because we got the OX to the OKS. It's a slight bend, even though how else do you say OKS besides ox?
You must believe if you get high enough, you'll end up in heaven. I know three gods and none of the same. Three things that can all fall up under the name. Some worship men and idols, others thunder and rain. Of the three gods I'll
And I do like this instrumental, the piano, like the dum dum da da dum da da dum. That's got a nice feel to it. There's a lot of interesting textures in here. Let me refresh my memory.
of the thunder and rain. Of the three gods I'll speak on, which one do you claim? Listen, polytheism is your enemy.
Yeah.
Each god is an entity.
And then we got some nice synth. We got like a high synth coming in, then we got like a little bit of a lower synth, like it's interesting. It almost like a theremin quality. You can almost feel like a pull and like a vibration or like a oscillation to it, which would make perfect sense because what do waves do besides oscillate, and what do synthesizers run off of besides waves, and and just an insane amount of like filters and other crazy stuff.
Claim, listen, polytheism is your enemy. Each god is an entity that prevents people from elevating mentally. And I ain't talking about the Trinity. The three gods entered me sinfully, manifesting death when it's sent to me. Now the last god I'll speak on is the one called sex. It's natural, which makes its analysis even more.
Okay, so 2 for 3. I was close though. At least if you think it from like the perspective of men instead of women, it's sex is the last god. Makes enough sense. Let's see where he takes this one.
It's natural, which makes its analysis even more complex. It shouldn't be abused by anyone, but the devious do. This third god is even used to get the previous two. Let me uncover this, cause lust sits above the list. It's real dangerous in cases where no love exists. Multi-dimensional.
That's interesting. Sex can be used to get drugs and money. That's certainly true.
One, but the devious do. This third god is even used to get the previous two. Let me uncover this, cause lust sits above the list. It's real dangerous in cases where no love exists. Multi-dimensional, 16 bars can't cover the ground. The truth is, it's twice as hazardous when love is around. Sex is powerful, intended only for...
That is facts, man. Sometimes when you got the love, you got the sex, you got everything going on, it can be hard to see through all of that. Can be hard to be clear in your sight and in your mind.
Twice as hazardous when love is around. Sex is powerful, intended only for husband and wife. Used for unrighteous purposes, but made to reproduce life. We all come from it, some die for it, some live for it. And when it's real good, ain't nothing some people won't give for it. Without mastery over it, it controls who it pleases. It's used as a genocidal tool by way of deadly diseases. It's the reason we all...
Ooh, hold up. Genocidal tube? I missed something.
Forward without mastery over it, it controls who it pleases. It's used as a genocidal tool by way of deadly diseases. It's the reason we all exist, intentional or accidental. If you lack spiritual strength, the physical impacts the mental. I know three gods and none of the...
Dude, I love that. If you lack spiritual strength, the physical impacts the mental. That's crazy. Spitting hard bars, man. A lot of it's great. There's some of it that my personal beliefs clash with slightly, but I'm not here to change K's mind or argue who's right or wrong. And honestly, I'd say, as far as I'm thinking, he's like 95% right with everything he said in this track. The other percent, we all believe different stuff. I got friends who disagree with stuff, and we get along just fine. It's not a big deal. So let's keep rolling. I love it. Great delivery, clean. Again, after coming back from the newer stuff, it definitely feels just like a little thinner, a little less robust in the mix. The vocal, there's not as much layering going on, different things like that. But still, great track, very well written. Interesting structure. Surprised me at first, but it really works out well as you go through the rest of the track. The one thing I am confused on is, where is this feature? Like, when is he gonna come in? Is it gonna be one of those things where he's featured and he gets like the last 10 seconds of the track?
intentional or accidental. If you lack spiritual strength, the physical impacts the mental. I know three gods and none of the same. Three things that can all fall up under the name. Some worship men and idols, others thunder and rain. Of the three gods I'll speak on, which one do you claim? Listen, polytheism is your enemy. Each god is an entity that prevents people from elevating mentally. And I ain't talking about the Trinity. The three gods entered me sinfully, manifesting death when it's sent to me.
There's only one God, the creator of the heavens and the earth. And you and I were created in his image and after his likeness. You can't bow down to money. You can't bow down to drugs. You can't bow down to sex. You were born to be like your father, a God. Stand up and be a God, black man and woman. Stand up and take charge of your world. The world is yours.
Beautiful. Wonderful way to end it. The world is yours. Nice little, I don't know, sermon or whatever you want to call that at the end there. That was a cool track, man. I really enjoyed that. That was Three Gods from K-Rino featuring Minister Robert Muhammad. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I certainly did. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that bell if you want to see more K on the channel every single Tuesday, in addition to all the other videos we got coming. And keep those suggestions coming in the comments down below. Thank you again to Yu-Gi-Oh! Holic. But much love to everybody in the No Shoes gang, and I will see you all next time.